I hate to say it, the bottom line is people who came to watch the case were walking out. I hate to say it, we were getting bored in there with Cassidy's testimony. I think everybody thought it was going to be explosive. This is a RICO case. They're trying to show trafficking, if you know what I mean. And I hate to say it, but the government is doing a terrible job at showing it. Now, they are showing, yes, domestic violence. They keep asking her, so at these freak-offs, who selected your outfits? Who Diddy? But they're not showing, okay, this escort was taken, traveled here for this. And it's not showing multiple people involved. All you're seeing the government prove is that Diddy committed domestic violence, but that is a state case that is not need a federal trial. So I hate to say it, guys. We know we don't want this. But I think Diddy could get off on the RICO charges. I'm not.
Okay. What's your take on that, Marquette? So he's essentially saying that, they're focusing more on the domestic violence stuff instead of what he's actually being charged for, which is the RICO case. So what's your take?
Number one, the guy said he thinks Diddy's going to get off. Diddy's gotten off enough. You heard me? Diddy need to not get off. Broden got off many times. Apparently, they used to have a freak off every week, which just seems like an awful lot. I mean, the greed of this man. But with regards to the actual case, I truly believe that if a woman enters into a marriage with a man, and that doesn't need to be a legal marriage, it used to be intercourse, which would lead to procreation, is marriage. But when she entered into a relationship, a committed relationship with Diddy, which should be a marriage, right? I think dating is probably not a good thing to do. Dating essentially for a woman is promiscuity. This is a woman engaging with a man she doesn't intend to build a family with. But let's just take on marriage as a term. So if you're married to a man as a woman, you're his property. Whatever he decides to do with his property is his personal business unless you seek for a divorce. So in the United States of Marquetica, if a woman does not seek for a divorce, whatever bro does in his household, that's his personal business. So that's number one. Then number two, the RICO statute was intended to pin down figures like an Al Capone, a John Gotti, figures that were essentially engaging in crime effectively, and the incompetent policing force could not find real evidence. So they created this all-encompassing statute that basically allows them to pin crimes on someone who has not done them directly, where there's very little evidence. It's really the government conceding that they can't get the bad guy, so they'll just create laws to get done what they're really trying to get done. And this is another verification that your government is exceedingly corrupt because they work with crime, which means your government itself is a co-conspirator in crime. Sammy the Bull, serial murderer. He's out walking the streets today because he collaborated with the government. So this government is not trustworthy at all. If the government actually followed its own laws, which it does not, then I think reasonably, based on the laws on the books, Diddy should walk free. And at the very least, he should have minor charges that might not even require jail time. But here's what we need to be concerned about. Why is it there's admission of constant uses of illicit drugs? Why is Cassie not catching a case for using drugs? There's her paying those who are night workers, shall we say. Why is she not getting a case for paying night workers? Why are all of her crimes forgiven as though she was not an adult, as though she did not make those decisions and actions? That's what we have to be concerned about. And that only reveals that our system is highly matriarchal, irrational, and unreliable. It's a shame.
Yeah, so there were 6 prosecutors, which is a lot of prosecutors prosecuting Diddy. And then Diddy had 7 to 8 lawyers of his own. The judge said it's going to go about 8 weeks long. So this is only day 3 that we're in. And they haven't even got to anything RICO. Like you've explained, it's kind of nonsensical, but they're focusing on the domestic violence. Also, they're focusing more on the things that so within this case, Cassie is expressing her love and stuff for Diddy. So it's like his defense lawyers could easily be like, well, like she chose to be in these freak offs. Like it's an easy, we could just, the accountability is right there. You were in love with him. She never really said that, oh, he tied me up and forced me to do this. That was never disclosed. It's more like, oh, I loved him, so I wanted to make him happy, so I did it. Take accountability, chick. It's that simple. Take accountability. So, like Marquette said, like, yeah, is Diddy a dirty, nasty nigga? For sure. Did he commit an actual crime besides being a dirty, nasty nigga? We didn't see anything as of yet. So, yeah. I got another. You got anything on your end, Marquette, that you want me to bring up?
Well, what we have to consider, and this is something I notice increasingly because every morning I watch the financial news. I want to know what's going on globally in terms of geopolitics, but of course with financial markets, not only on the New York Stock Exchange, I want to know what's going on all of them. And so I'm constantly watching, all of the analysts and economists, and I keep noticing like either half or more are always female. So when they're getting into these positions where they're the academic or they're the consultant or they're the financial person or they're talking about, big deal stuff, futures and, all these financial instruments that are fairly complex, these are going to be the people that are going to be running the Federal Reserve tomorrow. They're going to be managing policy for the United States and big governments around the world. These are women. They're going to be going in, becoming attorneys and judges in higher numbers. And it's going to come that 80% of those who rule our society are going to be women. And what that means is that our society is going to be irrational and unpredictable and dangerous, but particularly toward men. And so if we don't stop it now and take this seriously now, it will be a problem. I saw some folks who would call themselves red pill, which I think is garbage. Hashtag no pill. We drug free on this side. You did. All ism. I saw them responding to the case and sounding sympathetic to Cassie when really we need to take a hard position against these kind of females who act as adults, but when consequences come, they retreat to the position of a child. And you'll even hear the commentators when they speak of Cassie, they'll keep emphasizing, oh, but she was so young and she was in her early 20s. And it's like, no, at age 18, you're an adult. So if a young man can sign up for your military, you corrupt government, and go off and basically lose his life, make that much of a decision, then this girl can figure out if she wants to put baby oil all over her butt cheeks and get her back blued out, So that's the problem, is that this is actually a symptom of a sick society that's becoming sicker. And even the people on the internet who are supposed to be Manosphere and RP, they're even, basically succumbing to the brainwash. That's why Marquettism is for the kids. Marquettism saves lives, man.